welcome to this week's Monday Minutes. My name is Kelly.
My name is Jessie, and this week we are finishing up our week stretches of the Koha ERM. We're going to be talking about local packages within the ERM. So this is going to wrap up everything that we showed you from agreements to licensing and now to local packages within the system.
And we're going to be at Koha US this week. So we will be presenting on this exact topic in a little bit more detail on Friday morning this week. So if you are going to be in Portsmouth, we can't wait to see you. And if you're not, watch us live or we'll send out the recording.
All right. So now let's jump into our e-resource management. And again, we've already talked about our agreements and licensing. Last week, we did the first of eHoldings, and we showed you if you have a subscription to EBSCO's Holdings IQ, how to bring that information into the system. This week, we're going to talk about local packages. So local packages and titles are a way for you to bring any vendor into the system and then track that information. So Kelly built a great example for us here using Bloomsbury Food. So think of packages as a group of titles that all pertain to one thing. I can think of like Medline, right? So maybe we have access to Medline and that has access to lots of titles, medical titles in a group. Gail has health ones where you have a health package and then you have multiple titles from journals within that package. So think of it as a hierarchy, right? We have our packages and then we have our titles that are within that. So if we come in here first, let's look at the package for Bloomsbury. So this is giving us the name of the package, the type that it is, the content type, any type of notes, and then we can see that there are 88 titles within that package. So if we come over here and we're looking for something specific, we can type that in and then that will narrow it down. So our search for beans brings back 3 titles that match within the system. Now from here, I can select that and that will actually take me in where I can see the format for both print and online. I can see the publisher name and then that resource identifier, which is unique to that resource within the Koha system. So again, packages are at the hierarchy level, so we could see what the package is and then the titles that are within it. So I'm going to come back to the top here and we're just going to click that new package so you can see what that looks like when you're starting from scratch. Again, the only required field is that package name. And then from here, we could see the vendors, which are pulling from acquisitions, the type, which are coming from our authorized values, content type, and then finally our notes. You will see a button here that connects us directly to agreements. So if we had an agreement here that was tied in, we would see that information. Now let's come into our titles. Titles allows us to do things 2 different ways. We can create a new title from scratch. This is going to give us a long list within the system where we can enter in all of the information we have about that particular eHoldings title. So publication is the only required field, but you'll see you have everything in here from identifiers to availability, stretches within the system, like how long is it in there, 2000 to 2014, whatever it may be. You can fill in as much or as little of that information as you have in the system. You can also alternatively connect it to a package right from this list. Now, you also have the option to import from a list. So you can bring files into the system, add those files onto a list, and then import them into the system. So you can see here with this example, Kelly created Bloomsbury Food. So that allows you to bring those titles into a list. This is a much easier way to do this, especially if you're getting files from your vendor that you do want visible within the system.
Jessie, if I were to create a local title and not bringing in that MARC record, that title would be visible in the system as well if I created something local versus the MARC record coming in from a vendor.
Absolutely. So you do have the opportunity to create that bibliographic record if you want it visible. Now, some libraries will say, what if we only want it visible on the staff side? You can use a mark modification template.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about this yesterday. You can use a mark modification template, set up a rule that says, suppress the 942 subfield N with the number 1. And that way, any of those that maybe you just want visible on the staff side, but not the OPAC, you can absolutely do that as well. All right, so now you have just the quick overview of the Koha ERM. We're excited to hear how your library is using this. If you have questions or concerns, as always, for our Koha partners out there, you can reach out to us. We'd love to see how you're using this and get feedback. And we're excited to see the Koha ERM grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching and have a great week.
All right, have a great week.